Hello everyone and welcome to Life Begins at 20. My name is Mark and today I'm going to give you my top 10 common cards from Amonkhet for Cube. This will mainly be focused on Pauper cubes, although some cards here will certainly be able to make an impact in Peasant and even higher. Just before I do, I'd like to thank my new sponsors of my Cube content, the Mana Base, for giving me the opportunity to grow and bring you all even better content. For those of you who don't know who they are, they're a website of fellow Magic the Gathering content creators like myself bringing you content from all formats. Definitely do check them out over at themanabase.com, as I'm sure you'll enjoy what you see. Back to Amonkhet, and I'm really excited by so many cards in this set at all rarities. Cube builders of all levels from Pauper to Powered have been treated to one of the better sets in my recent memory for cubable cards. There are definitely some cards which were unlucky not to make the list, but without any further ado, let's just get stuck in. At the number 10 slot, we have a very solid blue flyer in the form of Shimmerscale Drake. This 5-mana 3/4 flyer is out of reach to nearly all red removal, which is a huge positive. Plus, it has the added benefit of a body to be able to deal with a lot of reach blockers. This card will be compared with Prescient Chimera, but if you aren't playing a heavy spells matter deck, I would certainly be picking the Drake every time, thanks to its ability to cycle away should the situation arise. This adds a lot of flexibility on a very good evasive body in blue. At the number 9 slot, we have another card with cycling that really helps tip this from just being okay to certainly worth looking at. Like many of you, I'd prefer to have Oaknar Warrior or Havenwood Worm, as these two are great at finishing off a game having trample. The downside for the cards like these two is I wouldn't want them in my starting hand at all. They'll be dead cards until I'm able to afford their mana costs. This is where Greater Sandwurm comes into its own, as you're still able to make use of this card by cycling it away. Trample on this card would make it immense for sure, but your opponent won't be able to just throw tokens in its way to keep it quiet. Often your opponent will have to start throwing 3 and 4 drops in its way, or even double blocking with decent creatures to remove it. A very solid card whose utility gives it a spot on this list. At the number 8 slot, we have a black 1-mana combat trick in the form of Supernatural Stamina. I'm not the biggest fan of combat tricks in black, as I'd rather have removal, but this card can do some great work. With there being so many cards in Cube with enter the battlefield effects, this can produce some amazing value. A perfect example would be casting this on Moldrifter, who is being blocked by Sentinel Spider. Instant value right there. At the number 7 slot, we have another card where cycling just brings this over the edge, and that is Forsake the Worldly. It is a 1-mana more expensive version of Disenchant, and in cubes there are normally targets for cards like this. But these situational cards can also become dead in your hand. Unpowered cubes where answering Moxes and Soul Ring as early as possible isn't the priority with slightly more expensive cards. The extra 1 mana is certainly worth having the option to cycle it away. Plus, the exile is very relevant too, as it stops bodies like Wormcoil Engine, Perilous Myr and Cathodian triggering when they die. Very useful spell that will have a target more often than not, but has the option of being cycled away to still have a benefit. At the number 6 slot, we have an embalmed creature that definitely has its uses later on in the game in the form of Aven Initiate. This 4-mana flying 3/2 body is great at any point in the game. It is a little vulnerable to burn, but at the late game where blue is often trying to get to, this body, unlike other common embalmed creatures, still produces a body that is useful. This is the perfect mana sink later on in the game if you are able to do nothing else. Definitely a worthy upgrade to Cloaked Siren, where the flash with low toughness isn't as great as it looks. I'd much rather have Embalm available. Moving on to the top 5 now, and these cards were very close, but at the number 5 slot we have Cartouche of Knowledge. I really do like these Cartouche cards, very flavourful and very useful in a limited environment, and this truly is a fantastic value in a card. For 2 casting cost, you get to pump a creature up by 1, give it evasion in the form of flying, and it also replaces itself. Nothing really to dislike here. A far better version of Stratus Walk, and I'd personally pick this over Spectral Flight too. At the number 4 slot is a red card which has a form of flying defense outside of typical burn in the form of Minotaur Sureshot. There is only one other red common printed with reach in the form of Needle Peak Spider, and Sureshot outclasses it completely. A 2-3 body for 3 with reach is perfectly acceptable, whilst also blocking a lot of flyers in most Pauper cubes and surviving. Plus the ability to pump it, even if a little expensive, to trade up or deal extra damage later on. A very solid card in red which can always use more flying defense. At the number 3 slot we have another Cartouche in the form of Cartouche of Ambition. This card comes up against Mark of the Vampire in most Pauper cubes, and I feel this is an upgrade. The cheaper cost and the enter the battlefield trigger, either killing off a creature outright or more likely a -1/-1 counter, means you're effectively getting the same +2/+2 against that creature. Lifelink is the main reason to run these cards in black, but I feel the Cartouche is certainly going to find its way into a fair few Pauper cubes for sure. Sitting high at the number 2 slot is a card that certainly could see play in a larger variety of cubes rather than just Pauper, and that is Bloodlust Inciter. This 1/1 for 1 providing a free tap to give a creature haste opens up some great tempo plays and really helps make aggro that much better. The free ability compared to a similar effect with Elvish Herder, which requires mana to activate, really makes this card stand out. Finally, at the number 1 slot, which may come as no surprise to a lot of you, and that is Cartouche of Strength. This card has a lot going for it. A trample giver, a minor permanent pump, and potential removal makes this a fantastic card. With the amount of big creatures that don't have trample, this would be a perfect fit in most Pauper cubes to really push their side over the edge. Plus, it works especially well for those players supporting Enchantment's archetype. So there we have my top 10 common cards from Amonkhet for Cube. Like I said at the start of the video, a lot of these cards are a great addition to Pauper cubes, although some may well make it higher. There were a lot of cards that were borderline too that didn't make the list. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Is there something that I've missed, or you would change the order? Just do let me know in the comment section below, as I'm always interested to see what you think. I'd like to again thank the Mana Base for sponsoring this video and adding me to their list of great content creators. Definitely do check them out at themanabase.com, as all of your format needs will be covered from Pauper to Legacy and Cube. They're currently running a competition to create their new logo, which will be running until the 30th of April. The winner will receive a booster box of Modern Masters 2017. If you're interested in this, I'll put a link in the description below to find out more details. The top 10 uncommons from Amonkhet for Cube will be out on Sunday, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, share it, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Don't forget to hit that notification button to know when each video is uploaded. With your support, we can really help this channel to grow. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.